Welcome back to the RedBeard Outdoors podcast. I'm Jonathan, your host. Today is that special edition of the podcast every other Thursday. Why First Phorm Outdoors? Today we have John Hetrick. He is an amazing dude that just loves getting outdoors. He loves making the habitat better for animals, for people to be able to go out and recreate, to be able to go out and hunt and fish, and also for the wildlife to enjoy the habitat even more so by keeping it clean and going out there and you'll hear me refer to cleaning beaver dams multiple times because that is like the bane of his existence. But great conversation today with John. And so you're going to really enjoy this one. If it's something that you are looking to do to join us in First Phorm Outdoors community over on Facebook, we'd love to have you. Let them know RedBeard sent you. If you would like to join the Day One crew as well, those are two amazing communities where you're going to find individuals that genuinely want to see you win along with everyone else in the group at whatever it is that your passion is. So you can enjoy hunting, fishing, hiking, biking, camping, backpacking, just simply getting out and enjoying the sun, whatever it may be. We want you guys in the group. So tune into this conversation. Enjoy the conversation that I've had with John as we go over why he's chosen First Phorm to be a part of his journey of losing tens of upwards of 60 plus pounds of weight so that he could get in the shape that he wanted and change his life for better. So with that being said, guys, let's get into this conversation with John Hetrick. All right, everyone, welcome back to the RedBeard Outdoors podcast. We've got a special edition of the podcast. We're doing it every other Thursday, the Why First Phorm Outdoors, why people have chosen First Phorm as their company, their community of choice to continue their journey in fitness, to maybe even improve things, to get outdoors more, whatever it may be, but how they're bettering their lives, and First Phorm's been a partner of that for them. So with that being said, we've got John Hetrick. John is, guys, he crushes it in the gym. He is absolutely out there all the time, as much as he can. We call it, I said he does the grunt work for the DNR, the DWR, or the ODR, where he's at. And he's just out there loving it. He wants to make things better for people such as yourselves, myself, as far as hunters, anglers, people enjoying the outdoors. And he's out there doing everything he can to make it a better habitat for the animals and for people to enjoy it as well. So with that being said, I've got John here. And John, who are you for people that don't know who you are?
Yeah, so my name is John Hetrick. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I am a natural resource technician for the Division of Wildlife for the state of Ohio. And I also work at a restaurant as a bartender and a server just to supplement because I'm only part-time for the state right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and so, John, we call him Big John because he's out there putting up some big numbers in the gym. He's absolutely crushing it. As you can see, guys, no, that's not a medium shirt. That's actually a double X that he's wearing. And for those that aren't out there, or that are only listening to it, you should definitely go check out the YouTube because this guy is swole. But he lives the lifestyle, and like I said, he absolutely. What I love is that there's people like John that are out there that never get highlighted because, one, they don't necessarily want it. And John and I talked a little bit about this, about maybe why he's not the officer. He's more the technician and the, I say grunt work, because you really do. You put in the work that a lot of people aren't willing to do, all that dirty work, getting out in the field, making sure that habitat is even better for the animals and the people out there enjoying wildlife as well, and being able to exercise their rights to go fish, hunt, etc. But John is just an outstanding individual. It takes a special human being to want to do that on a day-to-day basis and to show up and to do that dirty work. So what got you into the position that you're in where you enjoy being the technician for ODR on a day-to-day basis? I mean, why do you like doing it so much?
I think it's going back, it started with my parents. They were both blue-collar workers. My dad was a maintenance leader for the Army Corps of Engineers, and my mom was a OR nurse. Both of them retired after like 35 years. I think the cool thing, I remember growing up, and even now, my dad, we never called anyone to come fix anything. Like, he was just a jack of all trades. He knew how to do woodworking, masonry, electrical work, plumbing. And I just thought that was really neat how he could learn how to do so many different skills. And working outside every day, I know how much he enjoyed it. And, he enjoyed that physical labor. And that's what made me decide to try and, my degree is not in wildlife management. It's actually in hospitality management. And I was like, what am I passionate about? What do I love to do? And being outdoors is what came to mind. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to go to the Sportsman's Expo. I talked with people from Division of Wildlife there, made some connections, got an internship, rolled over to part-time, and I've been doing that for like 2 years now, and hopefully full-time here in summer.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I hope so too for your sake, because juggling two jobs, no matter what they are, is never necessarily fun. Getting the
Yeah.
schedules lined up and everything, and obviously you're passionate about being in the outdoors, getting after it in that way, and just enjoying being out there with the wildlife, and again, because a lot of people don't realize when you go out there. Yes, you see the DNR officers. I know out here it's kind of I don't know. You can have good or bad experiences with the officers.
Yeah.
I've only had good experiences, um, and they've been really, as long as you're following the rules, they genuinely just want you to enjoy being out there. But the people like yourself that are out there, you don't really. Well, actually, I don't know how often you interact with people on a regular basis, but you're probably not starting that conversation like an officer is. And you're out there, you get to again spend all this time out there getting to know the wildlife, getting to clearing beaver dams, things that maybe are messing. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
laughing because he's been doing
the
that a lot
beavers are
lately.
the bane of my existence right now. They are driving me nuts. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and they they but again, you're doing all this work so that you're out there enjoying nature as much as possible in a different way than maybe most people. Like for me, when I go out, it's recreational. For
Mhm.
you, it's a job, but also you're gathering information. You're able to get to know the landscape and know the people that are there, kind of the movements of the animals and everything along those lines as well. Is that something that helps as you go through? And I know you're a whitetail hunter. I believe you're a turkey hunter.
Yeah.
Are you able to use that knowledge while you're out there to, on public land or whatever, be able to go out and later, help you with your hunting?
Oh yeah. So one of the best parts is like I don't have all the interaction like the
Mm.
officers do, but occasionally, when we're putting up signs or we're out in the field, we'll run into the people out enjoying the area. It's nice just to have a nonchalant, like just relaxed conversation with them because they know we're not an officer. Their guard isn't up whether they were doing something wrong or not.
Yeah.
But we just have conversations, and it's really nice to get to know the public that way, and for them to see us that way. That it's not just officers; that there's more, people out here trying to, keep these public lands, in good condition for them.
Hmm.
But yeah, I carry around Spartan Forge on my phone, and whenever I'm out doing stuff in the field, I'll put little waypoints and
Hmm.
checkpoints in, and uh, little terrain features, and it's definitely helped me for whitetail hunting. I had a couple opportunities last year where I saw some big whitetails, but it wasn't able to get a shot on any of them. But
No, that's awesome. Yeah, and that's really cool that you're out there. You're able to again you're serving, but also you're out there getting to be able to do some scouting while you're working as well. Is this something that during the fall or even during the springtime, do you have time where you can like? Is this one of those jobs that maybe someone could look into if they do want to spend more time outdoors and also not interfere with their hunting season, or does it interfere with hunting quite a bit?
right now, for me, it doesn't. Just because I have, my days are split between two jobs. So,
Mm.
for instance, like today, if today was in the fall, I could have got up and went hunting all this morning, so I didn't have to be at work till the evening. Uh, I would say yes and no, because a lot of times, you'll get off work and I'll already be down a wildlife area. So if I drive my personal car down there and have all my hunting gear, as soon as I get off work, I change. We have a shower down there. I can shower real quick, change my clothes, and basically walk across the street to the public wildlife area and go hunting.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's just managing your time. If you leave, an hour or two early a day or come in an hour too late, you have to make up that time
Right.
during the week. But yeah, you can definitely get out and hunt for
No, that's
sure.
awesome. That's awesome. And is this a job that is is it hard to hire for? Are they looking for more technicians? Is this something that is a growing opportunity for people, or are they just kind of not really looking for new hires right now?
So right now we just had 16 positions open up across the state, and there were 250 applications. So there's once people get in, they tend to be, lifers, careers. So they don't open up all the time. Like I have some
Mm,
supervisors that waited 4 or 5 years, for a full
wow.
time position to open up. So it just depends on, you have to be there when the position's open and keep an eye out for
Right.
them. But once you get in and you get in part time, you get in full time, you're able to move around laterally to different parts of the state. It's much easier to do that once you get in full time.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm just wondering for people that maybe are getting into or looking for a career in wildlife or being able to get out there and spend more time outdoors. Um, that could be an opportunity to learn the system a little bit more and to be able to learn the outdoors a little bit more and
Yeah.
what your state has to offer. So definitely recommend people doing that, because again, we need people like John that are out there taking care of the wildlife, because I work a 9 to 5, I work a desk job, and I've got other things going on as well. I'm not out there as much as you, and I recommend people pick up trash and everything like that,
Yeah.
but we're not out there clearing beaver dams and clearing deadfall and things like that you guys have to deal with, or blow down, or beetle kill and stuff like that you guys have to work with. So just remember that, when you're out there on a trail, there's multiple trails that I've been on where you can clearly see it's been cleared out, and maybe someone brought their chainsaw up. More than likely, though, it was a technician like John that was out there clearing these paths where the trees had blown down, or maybe mudslides, rock slides, whatever might have happened. So definitely appreciate what you do out there. So with that, you're obviously very active, being outdoors as much as you are. You're hauling heavy stuff. I'm going to keep bringing up clearing beaver dams because you keep having to do that. Uh, and I know you absolutely love that part of your job,
Oh yeah.
but
It's not
that,
it's not bad now when it's
yeah.
warmer out, but when
Mm,
you have to do it in January, when it's
mm,
20 degrees and get in cold water, like
yeah, yeah,
that's
exactly,
that's a little
exactly.
little different story there.
How many times has your waders popped a hole?
Just once, and
Okay.
they got me a new pair, so
Oh,
we're
nice,
good. We're good
nice.
now.
Good, good, yeah. Yeah, anyone that's had cold water, even on your hands or your feet, you definitely understand that saps the energy out of you real quick when you
Yeah.
get cold and wet. But with that, you're out there, you're very active. What drives you to still go to the gym after you've had this active lifestyle at work? You're not like me that's got a 9 to 5 that sits at a computer. What drives you to go to the gym?
I don't want to go back to what I was before. When I started my fitness journey, God, probably 6, 7 years ago, I was 260 pounds. I was I was a smoker. I was a drinker. I was just not healthy. And I remember going to the gym, to a new gym, and having a trainer put me through a workout, and I almost blacked out because I was so out of shape. And in high school, I was an athlete. I played soccer, baseball, track, and to see how far I'd fallen was very humbling, to say the least. And it was very tough at first, but now when I don't go to the gym or get outside or do some type of workout, I feel like I'm slacking. And I just fell in love with the process. I fell in love with just going to the gym, working on myself. I enjoy learning different uh, exercises, different nutrition. I came to the point where I enjoy learning about it too, which I think is a good thing, for people,
Yeah.
trying to do their fitness journey is picking up information as you go from watching people in the gym, having conversations that, with people that at the gym that are doing it correctly.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's always learning about it is one, it keeps it fresh.
Yep.
Two, it's good for growth to like your body adapts to things and it gets used to being able to do certain things. So if you're constantly doing the same movements, if you're constantly doing the uh, same everything, it can get mundane. Maybe some people are okay with that, but
Yeah.
also your body needs a shock every once in a while. And so being able to go in and learn, being open-minded, being willing uh, to update your processes and your workouts and what you do is definitely a big deal.
Yeah.
So definitely recommend that. And that's awesome. I had no idea that you were. So what's your height, if you don't mind me asking?
6'3".
6'3". Okay, so 260 looks a little bit better on someone who's 6'3" than someone that's 5'10" like me. So,
Yeah.
but it's still I could definitely understand like what you're saying with that's still a lot of weight to carry around.
Yeah.
You were a smoker, you had a lot of other health issues going on as well.
Yeah.
And were you in the job position that you're in now when you were at that weight?
No,
Okay.
I was working full time at the restaurant,
Mm,
and it wasn't till 2022, like after the pandemic, when restaurants shut down and I had to go on government assistance. I was like, this is like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just on
mhm.
a hamster wheel, like just not. I got comfortable,
Yeah.
and I wasn't progressing anywhere. And that's when I decided, like, I'm gonna go for this wildlife position. Like, I'm gonna try and get a job in the outdoors somewhere. And I applied for places out west, like Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, and I just didn't have any experience. So, and then once I got hired on here, it's been good so far. But
Yeah. So you said 2022. So that was only 2 years ago.
yep.
So 2 years, was it 2 years ago you started your fitness journey as well?
No, so I
Okay.
started. Sorry, I was thinking about work,
No, you're good. Yeah, yeah.
but fitness was 2016, maybe.
Okay. Awesome.
So
Awesome.
it's been a few. It's been more than five, probably 6 or 7 years, I'd say.
Yeah, and what's your current, if you don't mind me asking, what's your current weight?
201.
201. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So you've lost 60 pounds, but on
Yep.
top of that, it's not just been a weight loss journey, right? You've
Right.
crushed it. I mean, your numbers on your deadlift, your squat, things like that, the big lifts are big. So you're strong as well. You're not just cutting all this weight. So
Right.
over the last, what's it been, 8 years now, 7, 8 years, you've been on this consistent journey, which again shows, and I want to highlight that for people that it's not always just a quick fix, and you might have dropped that weight really quick, but your strength took time to build as well. So you were going through a process of weight loss or fat loss is what I prefer to say,
Yep.
fat loss and muscle gain. So you probably lost even more than that in fat because you've gained muscle. Now, something else that I want to highlight for people that maybe are overweight. You got to understand that your body has adapted to carrying that weight around. So if you could just shave the fat off, you're more than likely stronger than someone who's a little bit less weight than you, unless they've been training consistently. Your
Yeah.
muscle mass, your skeletal muscle mass is going to be bigger because it's used to carrying that weight around. For the most part, that's how it is. So as you're losing fat, I always recommend, unless your doctor says differently, to throw in weight training as well, because you need to offset the weight that you're losing if you want to maintain that strength. You're going to feel even stronger once you've lost the fat because now you're not carrying that weight around. I tell that to people as well. I even had this discussion with my youngest son on a hike. where we were talking about food choices, and he struggles with a sweet tooth. And he's by no means like, when I was his age, I was fat as can be. I was a little doughboy, but he's athletic, and we were talking about having abs, and there's
Yeah.
kids at 9 years old that are talking about having abs. Blows my
Jeez.
mind. I
Times have
remember that
changed so much, dude.
yeah, I remember in junior high that being a thing, and me being worried about that, and I went through a transformation in junior high. But at 9 years old, guys, he's talking about having abs. And so I had to explain, everyone has them. It's just a matter of your fat content on your body. And I was telling him, at your age, you need to have a little bit of fat. If you can
Yeah.
see your abs at your age, for the most part, that is not healthy.
No.
Unless you're flexing or they're shallow. Like if they're
Yeah.
deep chiseled abs at 9 years old, you're not eating enough, and your
Yeah, your body
hormones are going to be
fat's too
off.
low. Yeah.
Yeah, your hormones are going to be off because your body's trying to grow and it's not getting enough nutrients to grow. And
Yeah.
so that's for the most part, generally speaking, that's not okay. That's not healthy. And so we were talking about that. We got into the sweet tooth, and then I actually told him, I said, look, if you complain about hiking and getting outdoors, walking, whatever,
Yeah.
okay, sit still in front of a TV, what you naturally want to do, sit in front of a YouTube channel or whatever, and eat your sweets. I said, you're going to gain 10 to 20 pounds like that. And
Yep.
then it's going to be harder to even do the basic things. And so when he came home, I had him throw a 20-pound wet vest on, and he was like, what? This is what it would feel like?
Yeah.
So it's the same with you losing weight. I bet if you threw 60 pounds on your back, you'd be like, holy crap. Like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
strong, but it would still throw you off.
Yeah.
And that's what you used to carry around.
Yeah. It's like, even carrying around, 45-pound plates. Like, I can't believe I used to have this. This isn't even 60 pounds. Like, this much weight was on my body, back then. And like you said, but I tell people, it took me a year or more to lose that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just started with my nutrition. I found a diet that worked for me, that I was able to be consistent with and stick to. And it wasn't a crash diet. It wasn't one of these like, oh, in 2 months, I'm going to lose all this weight, because then you end up gaining it right back. I took my time with it. I knew it was going to be a process, and, I lost the weight. And then once I got down to around the weight I wanted to be, which is like 210, 212, I kept losing weight, but I was adding more muscle. I started, I was weight training this whole time as well as eating healthy. But once I got down to that weight, then I started focusing on strength and putting on some muscle size. And then I started losing that last little bit that you want. Is sometimes the hardest, to get to a weight that you want to be at, or that are comfortable in. So I really hit the weights hard and put on lean muscle, and muscle burns a lot of calories if you have a lot of muscle. So that was how I got started. And then it, like I said, I made it a lifestyle. I didn't miss days. I was consistent.
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
I gave my body rest. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'd work out 5 days a week, and I do an active day on Saturday. Sundays, I would just go for a walk or do something very light and let my body recover.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's that's something that too, there's a lot that goes into muscle, and for women listening, it's not about bulking up necessarily, and don't think that you're going to end up looking like maybe some of those CrossFit athlete women that are just chiseled and have broader shoulders than me, and like you're not going to look like that just from weightlifting, right? There's a lot of nutrition and 2 to 3 workouts a day and lots of food that you're not going to eat and be dialed in on their nutrition like they are. They train for that purpose. So muscle is important because it helps tone, along with a couple of other things, but that will help tone the skin is going to be a little stretched out from the fat that you're losing as well. Which, if you look at John in any of his posts on social media or anything like that, you can tell he doesn't have the flabby skin hanging off because he didn't just drop the weight and not gain any muscle to go with it. So he was
Right.
able to tone that out, but also muscle will help you burn more calories, which in turn will help you burn off the fat more and quicker than if you're just simply focused on cardio.
Right.
And so, and not eating, basically starving
Right.
yourself.
Yeah.
And so you did it in an amazing way. And I love that you say it took a year, maybe a year and a half to get that off, because even if you took a year, that's a pound and a quarter every week.
Yeah.
And that is very sustainable. Once you're
Yep.
getting above 2-pound weight loss every single week, that can get hard to maintain because you're dropping a lot of weight very quickly. And your body's eventually going to say, "Whoa, hold on. You're taking too much from me here. I
Yep.
need to hold on to a little bit more." So that's very sustainable, and that is a long-term process. But in the long run, even me being 31, 1 year of your life is not that long.
No.
It's not that big of amount of time. Like, I'm looking back at a year ago from today, and I'm like, wow, so many things have happened in that year, but it also happened so quickly
Yeah.
that
It
a
went by
year
quick.
it's not that long. It's really not.
Yeah.
And so you've been able to maintain that, and you've gone up in strength, and you've dialed in your nutrition even more so. So with that, where did your journey with First Form and First Form Outdoors start?
So I was looking back at my messages because I couldn't really remember when, but it was like 2022. I think it was like the summer, maybe early summer,
Mm-hmm.
when I joined, uh, or when I followed on Instagram, and like Jake reached out and sent me a personal message, like welcoming me to First Firm Outdoors, and what it was about, and that was really special. Like, I'd never had someone actually reach out just for me following their page. And he sent another video a couple weeks later. And I was like, I'm really happy to be part of this community. And he just sent a voice or a video, saying he was happy to have me there, and the things that we were going to do. And actually, that's how I met AJ as well. And I bought some Badlands gear off of him, and then him and I have become really good friends, and it's just kind of gone from that. And then, yeah, I would say that was how it started.
Yeah. So back in 2022, we were, it was almost 2 years, 2 years at that point that we had started First Form Outdoors. And, it's very, very personalized. I love that you highlight that because, we want to make sure that everyone understands that we appreciate each and every individual that comes in.
Yeah.
And even though there's thousands and thousands of people in the group at this point, whether it be on the Facebook group or following on Instagram, we definitely do everything that we can to make sure it's personalized and that people understand we appreciate what you contribute to the community. So obviously, you were well into your fitness journey at this point, but you fit right in because you love the outdoors. And for people that maybe don't understand, I'd highly recommend you go back and listen to a couple of the other episodes as well. We're not just about hunting and fishing. We've got people that just enjoy the sun on their skin, whether that be hiking, hunting, or hiking, running, camping, whatever it may be, backpacking. We want you to be a part of the group because it really is about the outdoors. There's a lot of hunters and anglers in the group, and we do a lot of our training so that we can be better hunters, better anglers. But there's more than just that, and we know that, and we appreciate every single person that comes in. That even if you don't shoot a bow, shoot a gun, go fishing, we want you in the group because we need more people like yourselves that just enjoy getting outdoors. So John fit right in. Was in the outdoors. Obviously, had gone through his own fitness journey and transformation. And so, why, like, what outside of Jake messaging you after, getting added into the group, uh, why, what stood out to you about First Form, and why, I guess, once you said what stood out to you, what brought you in before even Jake's message, what are your top 3 reasons why? So first, what attracted you to it? And then what are your top 3 reasons?
I would say that the community, it's it's really cool to see people outdoors that aren't, like you said, that aren't just hunters and fishermen, and just people getting out, because the outdoors is uh, where I go to find peace. I think a lot of people, miss out on that by not getting in the outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say community is the big thing that I love about it, is that there's people from all over the country, all different walks of life, and you can reach out to just about anyone in the group. Like I posted a message the other day asking for if anyone builds their own arrows.
Mm.
I had multiple people message me like, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I do," and now we can, have conversations about that. But there's people that enjoy so many different aspects of the
Yep.
outdoors that you can find, people to go hiking with, to go camping with, to bounce ideas off of. And it's about, leaving the outdoors better than we found it. I think is a big thing. Now, especially now that I work in the outdoors in our public areas. So the community was the big thing for me.
Oh, that's awesome. So from an outsider's perspective, you were even able to see that it was a large community of individuals that just enjoyed the outdoors and wanted to pursue fitness so they could enjoy the outdoors more.
Yeah. Yeah. Because fitness and the outdoors were, like I said, my places to go. 'Cause I live in Columbus, I live in a capital city. So it can get pretty, stressful. And there's just so much commotion and,
Mm.
nonstop going here.
Yep.
So I needed to go outside and get outside the city and be in nature, not even hunting or fishing, like just going for walks and stuff was great. And then the
Yeah.
gym was the other side of that, whereas, if I'm having a bad day or I'm stressed out or if my anxiety's going, I put my headphones on, I go to the gym, and movement just really helped me mentally get through that. And I think first Phorm Outdoors does a great thing about not putting people down. There's none of that in this group, in this community. Everyone is there to help. Everyone wants people to be healthy, to get outdoors, to win. And, they come along beside you and help you get there. And I think that's awesome. And it's rare in today's social media world,
Mm-hmm.
for a company and a community like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And it's hard because us as people, we're naturally a little selfish, or we want to keep our secrets close to our chest, or we want to see ourselves win. Um, and it's hard, it's really hard to find a group that everyone in it genuinely wants to see other people win.
Yeah.
And we do everything that we can to to encourage that as well. And if we see any negativity or anything like that, we reach out to the people in the group just to make sure, hey, this isn't what we're about.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be a part of that, thanks for coming. Try,
Yeah.
try again
Well,
later, right?
we'll
Come
see
back
you later.
later. Yeah. But so we're very direct about that, but not in a negative way. Like we just want people to truly that we've got everything from beginners. And I don't know how many people now have said that they want to shoot a bow because of what they've seen in the group. They see that
Yeah.
women see other women doing things that they didn't even, for some reason, didn't cross their mind that it was something that they could do or even wanted to do because they didn't know if there was even a community for it, right?
Right. Yep.
There's things like that just the group is so good about doing. Obviously, we recently did a bass challenge where we
Yeah.
went out and there was some people that won the opportunity to go out and fish for bass at an amazing lake in the southeast, and that was put on in the group. Right, there's so many things that and there was some cool people that were able to go out of the group to that bass challenge and bass tournament. There's so much stuff going on that it's hard to even list everything, but basically you will find people that you can relate to, that you can ask questions to, not
Yep.
feel beat down on, not feel stupid asking the question,
Right.
in this group. And so that's awesome. So with that being said, there's obviously on your fitness journey, you encountered many other supplement companies, supplement brands,
Yep.
and there's other ones too that have an outdoor focus or idea to them as well. So why have you chosen? Give us the top 3 things as to why you've chosen to keep First Form as your main community, as your community, and then of course the supplementation and health and nutrition and coaching uh, that comes from First Form. Why has that been your choice as you've continued these last couple years in the First Form community?
Uh, well, I didn't actually start using First Form products until I think it was last year when you guys announced uh, the pro staff search.
Mm.
And I had been using supplements, years before that. And when I applied for that pro staff search, they were like, "Hey, someone reached out to me and talked to me like, hey, you should look into being a Legionnaire." And I was like, okay. I was like, so I applied for that, had my, uh, interview, and was accepted in the Legionnaire program. And then I got my advisor or coach, Nick Tomjanovich, Nick T, and started getting supplements, and the quality was just way better than everything I had had. My big problem was with protein. Normally, it was, and people that have taken different proteins will know this. Like you can feel it in your gut. It doesn't mix well, and it gives you like protein gas. If
Mm-hmm.
people know what I'm talking about, like low quality protein will put gas in you. And when I got the first container of Formula One, it was like sand.
Mm.
It was the quality, it mixed so well. And then after using it, I didn't have any of that. And I was like, okay, and I did more and more research and, about where it's developed, how it's produced, the ingredients that go into it, the product training that we do on the Legionnaire side of everything. And then I just started going through the different supplements. Magnesium was a huge changer in my sleep. I mean, I was drinking extra strength sleepy time tea almost every night because I couldn't get my brain to turn off and actually get a good night's sleep. And then once I started taking magnesium from First Form, I started getting amazing sleep and waking up fresh. I wake up, I don't even have to set an alarm anymore. Like my body just naturally wakes up now at the right time, where before it was, groggy and whatnot. And yeah, the quality of the products have just been amazing.
I love it. I
So,
love it. So yeah, just some other examples too that with the quality of the products, and you'll hear a lot of people say that as well. If you come out to any event where we've got samples, or last year we did at TAC, people were blown away by the fact that we could take a normal 16-ounce water bottle that you just get from Walmart and the pallets, whatever, pour a little bit of water out to where we're at about 10 to 12 ounces, dump 2 scoops of protein, Formula One,
yeah.
1 scoop of ignition, and depending on the person, we'd put creatine in there if they wanted creatine. So all of that in 10 to 12 ounces of water, no shaker ball, no mixer, and we would just shake it up in a normal standard plastic water bottle. And people would look at you like, man, that's going to be like pudding. Like how much crap
Yeah.
you've put in there.
Yep.
And they take a sip and they're like, what?
Yeah.
I even had a
Exactly.
guy ask me, he was like, did you do some sleight of hand where you swapped something from under the table? Like, I was like, no, like I did it all here in front of you so you could see. I'm definitely no
Yeah.
magician here. And that Formula One mix is so smooth. And you mentioned like sand. I'd even say it's almost like powdered sugar. Like it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
super,
That's a good one.
like
Yep.
super fine and just mixes. Like there's nothing that settles at the bottom of the cup. There's no clumps. I will say the fruity flavors, I usually add maybe 2 ounces of water more for like the watermelon or the cherry lime, just
See, I need
because
to
they,
try those because I haven't had the
yeah,
fruity flavor one.
yeah, they're
Like the
super,
watermelon.
super refreshing. Super
Are they?
refreshing. Yeah.
Okay.
But I do recommend when people get those, or I've seen that they've purchased those, I do say just maybe 2 ounces more of water. You're not going to lose the flavor, but they do. There's something in them that's, because they don't have the lactose. Um, that it doesn't mix as smooth unless you add 1 to 2 ounces more of
More
water, then
water.
it's just as smooth. But outside of that, you know, it's crazy. It blows my mind every time I do it. And the flavors are outstanding. We have natural flavors as well for people that
Yep.
are more into that line where they don't want the unnatural flavorings. And so we do have a natural line as well that has great flavors like strawberry, chocolate, vanilla. So you can check that out as well. But I definitely agree with you. The quality of the products is unmatched, and the protein gas isn't there because, just a brief synopsis of this,
Yeah.
basically we don't burn our protein. Most protein companies don't. They're trying to crank out protein really quickly and in bulk, and so they don't process it at a low temperature. So basically, you tell people, do you want a chicken breast that's been in a crock pot for 8 hours, or a chicken breast that's been on the grill for 3?
Yeah.
Right?
I
You're gonna
agree.
get double the chicken breast,
Yeah.
2.5 times the chicken breast if you do it that way on the grill, but you're not gonna like it. Your body's not gonna like it. Your gut's gonna be torn up.
Yep.
Whereas if you do it in the crock pot, it falls apart. Your body processes it better. You get all the protein out of it. You haven't denatured the protein. And that's really what that protein gas comes from in a very simplified
Yeah.
fashion. It's just your body's like, what the heck is this? Like, I don't recognize this as protein, so I need to excrete it. It needs to go away.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to process it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
People who have had that low quality protein know what we're talking about. Like
oh yeah,
it's
especially in
bad.
high school when you're getting that
Oh,
that big old tub of protein, and everyone's like, oh,
yeah.
3 scoops, man, 3
All right,
scoops.
let's go. Yeah. You walk out,
Oh
you just
yeah,
let them go as you go.
exactly. Yep, you just roll the windows down as you go home. You're okay.
Yep. Don't bake yourself out.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome. So quality of the products, and then what would be your other 2 reasons why you've stuck with First Form?
Customer service. Coming from someone who has been in hospitality most of their life,
Mm-hmm.
I when you treat the customer correctly,
Mm.
and like at the restaurant, for instance, the company I work for has one of our values is yes is the answer, what's the question? So like we will do everything in our power to make yes the answer to your question, no matter what it is. And I think First Form does an awesome job at customer service. I've had to return things. I've got an
Mm-hmm.
email within 24 hours.
Yep.
I've talked to people on the phone, and it's just refreshing to have. I got a Christmas card from First Form.
Yep.
I've gotten handwritten letters with my supplements. That type of customer service, goes a very long way.
Yes.
And I think that's really sets them apart from everyone else is the customer service that you experience. And people, they really genuinely care that you get everything you can out of their First Form products. And if something's not right, they want to hear about it and they want to fix it and make it so you enjoy it.
Exactly. And I always try and highlight this when customer service comes up. We have 110% money back guarantee.
Yep.
Um, obviously there's some stipulations to that. It's not a year from now,
Yeah.
but like if you get the bottle and you have a scoop or 2 out of it and you just don't like the flavor, or even just not liking the flavor. It's not even if the bottle's open when you get it or a problem with the product. It's even if you don't like the flavor, send it back. Let customer service know. And I will say, John is a Legionnaire. I'm a Legionnaire, but we don't get special treatment from customer service
Right.
because of that. Most
Yeah.
of the time, they don't even know we're Legionnaires. I don't know what pops up on the back office end, but it's usually like 3 or 4 emails in where they're actually asking about, what do I like to do? What are we doing on the weekend? Like they start a full blown conversation via email, and then they realize, oh, you're RedBeard. Okay, cool. Like, they'll look you up
Yeah.
on social media or whatever. But it's that first email within 24 hours, man, I've had some crazy times where I get an email like 8:00 p.m. Mountain Time. So I know it's 9:00 p.m. Central Time. I'm like, what are you doing? Why
Yeah,
are
still at
you
work.
email? Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And they're still taking care of you. So the 110% money back guarantee, even if you don't like the flavor, because we don't want it to be a pantry princess that you're not using. We know
Right.
you're going,
Yep.
we want you to enjoy the flavor that you get so that you can use the products and get the benefit from it. So
Yep. You get the result.
always, always reach out to customer service. They'll make sure you're taken care of. And that's just amazing. And like you were saying, being in hospitality, that's a big thing, we want to build the loyalty. We understand you're going to spend a little bit more on our products
Yeah.
because it is low temperature processed, taken care of at a high level facility, the highest in the nation, things like that to get you the high quality. You're going to pay a little bit more, but it's 100% worth it. So those are
Yeah.
your
I
two. What's
definitely
your,
agree.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was, yeah, I agree. That's all.
Awesome. What's your third reason? So we've gone over, you said quality of the products, customer service. What's your third reason for sticking with First Form?
Uh, I I really like the app, to be honest. When I've done this is my third challenge now that I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
and I get held accountable, which I think is really good. Having like Dale's my advisor,
Mm.
so so I'm trying to I'm trying to catch up to him, but yeah, but the ease of the app to use, the
Mm.
information that's there, and what you get relatively compared to what you're paying, like it's a no brainer to me.
Yep.
And I would say on top of that, because you know the values at First Form are like I have these little metal cards that they sent out with the core values. Being selfless, moving forward. I have them on my fridge. Uh, those really align with my morals and where I stand on things. Being kind to people, you know, being a good human being. It takes a lot of energy, excuse my language, to be an asshole, but everyone can be kind and be nice
Mm.
to people. And you really see that when you talk with people in First Form and other customers too. And that I really enjoy that about the company.
I love it. I love it. I couldn't agree with you more. It's one of the most, so just for people that don't know, the First Form app, you get an advisor.
Yeah,
They are certified in nutrition advisors. They work with dietitians to make sure that you're taken care of. If you have special needs for your gut health or whatever it may be, maybe you have an eating disorder, even things like that, where it may be a little triggering to record your food. Still get in the app and let the person that you're getting in the app with, let them know that you're experiencing this issue. You want to improve your health, but you have this mental block or whatever it may be, and we'll make sure you get with the right advisor. I've had that happen a couple times where there's people that have told me that they have, bulimia or whatever it may be, and I'm like, okay, great. So then I reach out to headquarters and say, hey, who would be the best match, and are they accepting clients right now? And then I'm able to match them up and get them set up with the right advisor. Guys, $13 a month, less than $13 a month.
yeah,
It's $12.99. So I'll just say $13 a month. You get a tracking app that has workouts. I don't even know how many at this point. There's so many workouts available and at different levels, from beginner with no gym equipment to advanced with all the gym equipment and
yeah,
everything in between. Rucking focus, you've got outdoors focus, you've got
yeah. The
CrossFit
outdoor
training
focus.
focus. Yeah, you have so many different options, muscle building, powerlifting, all these different options. And then if you can't do certain movements in that workout, you can customize it even further to where you can find alternates, or say you're on a certain track with maybe you're used to going to a gym that has all this equipment, then you go traveling like I
Yeah,
did recently to Italy, and you have a lot less equipment in that hotel gym, or even no equipment. You can go in and say, all right, for today, I'm doing this other program because I don't have the gym equipment I normally do. And you can alternate it immediately in that moment to stay on top of your fitness. Right.
yeah,
And then, like I said, you've got that advisor. that hold you accountable. As long as you're reporting back to them, they're going to be talking to you. And when you're not reporting to them, they're going to call you out on it. So
Yeah.
you get all of that for $13 a month. I challenge anyone to find an app or even a personal trainer that isn't a hack.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
a real, let me put that disclaimer. That's not a hack or a fake.
Yeah, it's not a hack. Yep.
But legitimately someone who knows what they're doing, please tell me that you found it less than $13 a month. Because I've tried. I've tried to look. You can't.
It's not out there.
And most personal trainers are charging thousands of dollars a month. So hundreds of dollars a session to meet with them. And you don't get to have contact with them every single day. So that app is a huge tool, very awesome availability. And you get those announcements, you get contact with your advisor on a frequent basis. You can do challenges, there's step challenges, there's live videos, there's classes. There's so many things in the app itself that just blow me away for how cheap it is. So
I was not expecting that when I first signed up, over a year ago, last year sometime, at how much you got when you download the app. The amount of resources that are there for you is unparalleled, in my opinion.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, with that being said, definitely make sure you check out the app. But well, there's your top 3 reasons. So we've got quality of supplementation. We've got the community, which you mentioned why you came in, but quality of supplementation, customer service, and the app. So guys, I'm going to have, first off, John, where can people find you if they've got questions for you about your fitness journey, about the outdoors, about your favorite hunting spots in Ohio? No, I'm kidding. Don't reach out to them about that.
I'll meet you on the trailhead, and then I'll take you back with me.
But where can they find you at, John?
So on Instagram, it's just Big John Het. So, and Facebook, it's just John Hetrick. Very simple. But I post a lot. I'm trying to do more of what it looks like in the outdoors from my work point of view, so people can see what all it is we do. And I always post workouts and nutrition and things like that too. So
awesome.
And
okay.
Happy to answer any questions and connect with anyone that wants to.
Perfect.
I'll help you out a little bit with the hunting.
Yeah. In the Columbus area. Very general.
We'll do that.
No, that's awesome. I'm going to leave the links down below where you guys can find John and reach out to him about any fitness questions you may have. Also, the links down below for where you can find the fitness app, the First Phorm app, how you can join the First Phorm Outdoors community on Facebook, and where you can get some of these amazing supplements that we discussed today, if that's something that you are looking for. Always feel free to reach out to me as well for any questions that you may have in regards to First Phorm, outdoors, nutrition, whatever it may be. Always here for you. With that being said, thanks so much, John, for joining us today for the Why First Phorm Outdoors edition of the podcast. Super stoked to share this story with everyone listening in here. And like I always say, guys, get out, live your life, and love it. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed that conversation with John. It was an outstanding episode. I love having conversations with people and hearing their stories as to how maybe they found First Phorm Outdoors, why it relates to them, why they joined the community, and want to share that conversation with you guys. So hope you enjoyed that as well. If you found something from this that you enjoy, if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment and question, maybe if you've got a question for John, for me, about First Phorm, the community, how we can best help you accomplish your goals as well. And also, guys, most of you are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're not subscribed, leave a subscribe, like the video. I really appreciate that. If you're listening in on the audio only version, follow along or subscribe, whatever the button is, and leave a review. Guys, those are some free ways that you can help support the channel and help this channel continue to grow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope to see you over in the First Phorm Outdoors community on Facebook. If not, then go follow along on Instagram and reach out to me via email or Instagram message, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have about First Phorm Outdoors. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your Thursday. And of course, get out, live your life, and love it.